Connecting. Hey, how you doing today? Good seeing you. Thank you very much for coming on board. We are going to play with cooking like we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the Kickstart kitchen. And here we are, ready to go. Good. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. We're going to have some fun today. This is week 6 of the Kickstart program, and we've had a great event for 6 weeks, and we've had some fun meals, and we're going to continue on cooking. Had some great response, so like for you to continue coming on by, what platform you want to come by on things. We're going to be saving things. I'd love to see comments and chats in the chat if you have any comments or things I can do. I know things are backwards today on the screen. I'm sorry the words are backwards. 73, sometimes I don't quite get everything right. I get it. Hey, thanks for coming in. Thank you very much for coming in. Cece, nice. Good seeing you. Hey, Robbie, good. Come on in. And so today we are going to go and work on a Hollandaise sauce. Why am I going to do a Hollandaise sauce today? Well, because I have some asparagus. So we're going to do a Hollandaise sauce for the asparagus that I'm going to grill. So this will be grilled later tonight. I'm going to grill some asparagus. So we're going to make a Hollandaise sauce. Very simple in a one pan. Going to do this the easiest Hollandaise sauce you've ever seen. I promise you all can do this. It's very, very simple because we're going to have the asparagus with Hollandaise sauce, and we've already this week we made the Beret Blanc, the lemon Beret Blanc. That'll be used tonight as well on the grilled Chilean sea bass. So tonight's dinner, which should be here, come on over. It's going to be a lemon Blanc sauce with grilled Chilean sea bass, and we did this recipe this week already, so you've seen that show. If you didn't, we'll try to make sure that you catch it, and I'll put that away. That's for tonight. And also then we're going to be having asparagus with the Hollandaise sauce we're going to make this afternoon. I'm going to show you how to make it. You can use the Hollandaise sauce, which is different than a lemon Blanc sauce, which is different than a Béarnaise sauce. So this is a very, very simple sauce you can do easily at home. It really doesn't require a whole lot of culinary skill. It just sounds sexy because, like, you may have had it on asparagus. You may have had it when you had eggs Benedict. You're like, oh, this is good. How did you know this? It's a step up, right? Because most people don't make a Hollandaise sauce at home, but now you will be able to, because now you'll see how to do it and how simple it is. So thank you for coming on board. Now, why do I even do cooking? Well, it's because I have been also known as Mr. Belly So Big. I have been known as Mr. Belly So Big. I've also been known as maple syrup, because my love for food and lack of care for my body caused me to lead me down a path that I didn't even know of diabetes. So yeah, I'm Mr. Belly So Big. Look at how inflamed I am. So maybe some of you can identify with that. You may be able to identify with the size, the shape, and I'm blessed to be alive. No doubt, no question. I've been blessed to stay alive, to help educate. My mission is to help educate and interject in front of you what happened to me. I don't want it to happen to you or to your family. And I've lived 2 different food generations. If you were born in 1970 or later, put 7 in the chat, would you? If you were born 1970 or later, put 7 in the chat. The reason is if you were born in 1970 or later, all you know is the modern day food environment. 1972, 73, right in there is when high fructose corn syrup came out. So you've only lived in that time. You've only lived in ultra high processed foods. You've lived through the time that the tobacco industry brought their addictive scientists and owned the food industry and re-engineered, and now you see bioengineered the food to make it addictive to you, not to make it more nutritious, to make it more profitable for the companies that produce it. I'm just going to call it the way it is. It's all about profit. It has nothing to do with your health. It's nothing to provide more nutrition because you don't need ingredients like that. You don't need ingredients you cannot pronounce, spell, or even understand. You don't need ingredients you cannot find in your store because that's not real food. That's chemistry. Did you sign up to go through life as a chemistry experiment? I don't think so. And neither did I, but that's what addicted me to get me to a blood glucose level of 834 with a fasting A1C of 18.1. Guys, those numbers are emergency critical level numbers. Yeah. And the reason I'm here is because 107 days after being on that lifetime of insanity on a natural protocol, my blood glucose, which was a fasting blood glucose at 834, because I had fasted for 20 hours before I had the blood drawn, down to 90. No medication, no medical intervention. So my goal is to help provide education, information, so that we can head off you becoming a diabetic and having to totally pull you back. Because if you're a type 2 diabetic, you have a more than 50% chance of having a cardiovascular issue. You have more than a better half chance of developing Alzheimer's, which is an insane form of insulin resistance, which we'll talk about later. So I'm on this earth today and alive with those extreme numbers that I know people that have died with less, had heart attacks with less, had comas for less, and all kinds of other diseases. I'm here to intervene to at least bring you the awareness, whether you choose to use the information or not, the same as if you choose to use the recipe or not, choose to cook the way this way. It's all your choice. Unless you decide you want to be a victim and stay a victim. And if you do, that's your choice. Absolutely. But 97%, the statistics show that 90% of us, and indeed the world, especially first world countries, are suffering from chronic metabolic issues related to the energy. And that's talking about energy. Then what's our source of energy? What you eat, what you drink, right? That creates the energy. That's the metabolism. That's the utilization. That's a breakdown of what you ate, breaking it down to what energy that can be used where in the cell, where in the mitochondria of the cell to burn for the energy, the fuel. But it has to get into there. It can't get into there if the cell won't accept that in. And what gets it into the cell is insulin. Insulin gets to the attached insulin receptors, the little buggers on the cell that are like, and insulin's like a key that helps to get the glucose in. Well, sometimes it can't go in there. Why? Because it's too full of what? Waste and fat. Think about that. It can't go into the cell. And what happens is that the cells begin to think they're starving, especially the brain. That's where you develop Alzheimer's, dementia. Anybody forget where the keys were? Walk into a room, forget why you walked in. Names kind of go away. You don't park quite right. You don't remember how you got somewhere. things that are normal, you start getting some brain fog. Your vision goes. Maybe your hair starts falling out. Girls, you start going hair on your face. Develop hydra, bumps, tags. Skin tags aren't normal. These things on your outside of your skin are telling you, they are screaming that you have chaos going inside your gut, inside your body. Your system can't handle anymore. But what you probably are still doing, which most people are told to do, is what? 3 meals a day and snack every 2. Who's told you that? Where did that advice come from? I just want you to ask. I'm 73, so I can ask a lot of questions because I have seen how we've changed. I've seen how we changed. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, and granted, I was raised in South Dakota, and so that was like 20 years behind the rest of the world, right? I mean, we had gravel, we had dirt streets. We were excited if there was asphalt on a road. The first town we lived in South Dakota had dirt streets, board sidewalks. I remember friends whose phone on the wall didn't even have a crank. If you watch old black and white movies, you've seen people go up to the phone and they're like this on a box. I've lived that. I understand that. You've heard of Little House on the Prairie, Laura Ingalls Wilds. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But if you have, that first town we lived in South Dakota, we were about 12 to 15 miles away from Howard and Smith, where the family had lived at one time. Yeah. So I have seen the changes. If you go back, I just asked you this. Think about this. If you go back and look at high school pictures, annuals, pictures, if you look at, I graduated in 70, but you go back and look through my classroom, if you go back and look at my parents, if you go back at your grandparents, what do you not see? You do not see obesity, certainly not in children. You start looking at the history, you don't see diabetes, certainly not early onset, certainly not children. You don't see non-alcoholic fatty liver. The only fatty liver we had were the alcoholic fatty liver. Now we have non-alcoholic fatty liver. And you know what they're trying to do now? They're trying to cover that up, and they're calling it MASH and NASH and other names to have you not look behind the curtain. We didn't have nut allergies. We didn't have gluten allergies. We didn't have lactose allergies. What has changed in my lifetime, and if you were born in 1970 or later, this is all you know, is the changes that have happened to your diet. The availability of foods that you have, the convenience of food, the convenience of driving through and ordering in. So you do it to yourself. And then you want a pill. Why would you want a pill or a shot or medication or something you can take care of with food? If you do that, I understand. That's great. Just spend the money. It's your money. It's your health. It's your body. Do with it what you will. But why would you deliberately do that for your children? Why would you deliberately bring that stuff home? Well, George, they like it. They won't. Now they'll eat what you give them. They will. You decide who's the adult in this relationship. Now I've got 15 grandkids. I got 2 great grandkids. I've got living children as well. I'm the oldest of 10. My mom's 96. We'll talk about her in a minute. But I know that if I knew what I knew now, 10 years ago, my mother would not have Alzheimer's. Because it's being proven. It's being proven that Alzheimer's, dementia, is reversible. It is improvable. And it is preventable. But it all breaks down into the very simplest format, energy. And the energy is the food you take in. The issue is the frequency that we're taking it in, as much as some of the ingredients, the toxicities, the plastics, the heavy metals, right? The over of things. And I'm We're just going to lay it out. That's how it is. Prove me wrong, but look at history. When you go back and look at the history, I don't mean the last 30 years. I mean, go back 100 years. Go back 200 years. Go back to the millennia. People ate different. They ate natural. They feasted. They ate. When they ate, right? And they ate well. I mean to tell you, when I was raised as a kid, I got hired out to work on farms, and breakfast on a farm was, meat, potatoes, homemade bread, homemade jams and that. Everybody was fine. We didn't have obesity. We didn't have high blood pressure. We didn't have diabetes. We didn't have all these. We didn't have PCOS. Look, you couldn't have had PCOS with a baby boom. Think about that for half a second. We didn't have ED with a baby boom. Think about that for half a second. What's changed? Why is PCOS predominant in 20% of the females? Why is ED down to 30-year-olds? Why do 80-year-olds, some 80, 70, and 80-year-olds still have higher testosterone than 20 and 26-year-olds? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm just asking people to wake up a little bit and see what's going on with their foods. So yeah, I've lived this. And this is why I'm just screaming, yelling about it, because I have a passion, because I don't want you to go down the path. And if you are, I want to try to help pull you back a little step at a time. So I'm going to give you a lot of free hits and information on how you don't become like me. I want you to be like this guy over here. 73 with a 28-inch waist. No medications for high blood pressure, diabetes, coronary diseases, liver, gout, skin tags, acne, right? None. Gout, yeah, sarcopenia, muscle wasting. Some of you guys that are losing weight are losing muscle. If you're on a shot and things and you're so excited because you're losing weight, do the research. You'll find out, and it will scare the hoop out of you, that 40% of the weight you're losing on that scale, because they've got you conditioned to look at the scale, pounds. 40% of what you're losing is lean muscle mass. That's the worst thing you can lose. But you're so excited. But then you start looking at the flabby skin. You start looking at the Ozempic face. You start looking at the baggy this and the baggy that, right? It's muscle wasting. I've got a guy that's got lumps, huge chunks of, he can grab under his arm. He's got huge folds. He says, well, I don't want to lose any more weight because that's muscle. Poppycock. He is so brainwashed that he thinks the subcutaneous fat is muscle. No. He needs to lose that. And by the way, I was down to 142 pounds. I've gained 9 pounds on the protocol. I've gained 9 pounds of lean muscle mass with a 28-inch waist. That's 73. I'm not supposed to gain muscle, and I'm not working out. Okay? Just going to let you know. So I want you to know that if you have an opportunity, if you want to learn more about metabolic health, in November, on the 8th, the day before my birthday, in Miami, we have a host of speakers come in. We have Dr. Jamie Seaman, who is the author of Fit and Fabulous. We have Dr. Carlos, who is the author of The Metabolic Miracle. We have Dr. Nick, who is an expert. He's an allopathic medicine physician, expert in CrossFit. We have Dr. Thurlow, and she's the intermittent fasting information. Dr. Benjamin Bickman, author of Why We Get Sick, and the leading metabolic scientist researcher in the world at BYU. Jason Fung is going to be with us, author of Obesity Code and the Diabetes Code. And Nina, doctorate, is the Big Fat Surprise. These are all going to be with us in Miami, in Orlando. We were just in Miami about a month or so ago, weren't we? Yeah. Dr. Bickman was with us then, too. But Dr. Fung, Dr. Nina, Dr. Bickman, Cynthia Thurlow, Dr. Nick, Dr. Carlos, and Dr. Jamie are all going to be with us. If you would like to join us with the richness of these guys, the world's experts, on stage with us in November, then just put tickets in the chat, and I'll make sure I get the information so that you can have a ticket to go. And some of these guys are going to go on a cruise with us, a 4-day Bahama cruise. They're going to be on the ship with us. Our company has bought out a cruise ship. All of us are getting balcony rooms. These speakers, a lot of them are going to be with us on the cruise. Imagine that. The company has rented out a ship just for us to go be with these people and get a little relaxation too. But we've got Dr. Seaman, we got Dr. Carlos, we got Dr. Nick, we got Cynthia, we got Dr. Bickman, we got Dr. Fung, we got Dr. Nina. If you'd like tickets, just put that in the chat. So I don't want you to go down this path. And this is what the problem is we eat too much. So I'm going to start cooking this Hollandaise sauce, okay? I'm going to start with that. And so to do this, I've got a stainless steel bowl, okay? I'm going to turn the front heat on to low. And normally what you do is you mix things up elsewhere, but we're going to do it this way. This is not a normal way of doing it. This is George doing it. Going to put an egg yolk in. Put the egg yolk in. Going to put in a couple tablespoons of water. Now I'm already going to start stirring this around, whipping it. Okay. I've got 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, made fresh lemon. Okay, fresh lemon juice. And so that's right here. Going to put that in. Now this involves low heat and constant whisking. It's going to take, this whole process will take probably 15 minutes. Now, it's your choice. You can add some hot sauce if you like, some kibiba, if you like Tabasco, whatever. I'm going to add some cayenne pepper to it. A little cayenne. There we go. I'm going to add some high-quality salt. I'm going to take a pinch of high-quality salt. That's in there, too. I like Redmonds, I like Baja Gold, I like Celtic, I like Himalayan. All right, so I've got water. So we've added water. We've added lemon juice. We got 1 yolk. This is making just a small batch. Added some cayenne. Added some salt. So that's what's going on in here. This is a stainless steel bowl. And now we're just going to whisk this up, get it going. And now I'm going to slowly start adding tablespoons of butter. So we're just going to whisk this around. Now, remember when we did the lemon beurre blanc? See how we're stirring this around? When we did the lemon beurre blanc, we had lemon juice, or we had some vinegar, white wine vinegar. We had some white wine. We had some tarragon. We had butter. Right? And we just kept it stirring. And then later on, we thickened it. We used an egg yolk once we had it down nice and going. So I just added another pat of butter. Seeing how we got this going? Now, we're not going to melt. We're not going to boil this. This is on a low heat. Okay, this is a wonderful technique. And depending on what you're going to use this for, is how thick you're going to have this go. So we're going to just keep whisking this around. And you could walk away a little bit, but don't. And you could have an automatic whisker. When that, with the thing that automatically stirs stuff, okay, fine. But why not just relax and have some fun? Relax with what you're doing. And this is cold butter. The water we put in was cold. The egg I put in was cold. Okay. And now we have 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 yolk, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, fresh squeeze, right out of this here lemon. Okay. The 1 yolk, 2 tablespoons of water, 4 tablespoons of butter, some cayenne, and some salt. Now you could do different ones. I've seen some people use tofu for instead of the butter and whatever. People do different things, and it's however fits whatever you're allowed to eat and what you're allergic to or prefer. That's one thing about cooking, isn't it? Cooking is different than baking. And what do I mean by that? Well, baking is a science. Baking, you have to follow exact measurements. Baking requires specific ingredient measurements by grams, by ounces, by timing, by blending, by incorporating various techniques, temperatures, time. For me, cooking is playing with my food. Cooking recipes are a suggestion. So yes, that's what we're doing here. Hey, thanks for coming in, Arlie. It's good seeing you. Thanks, Lisa. So when we start looking at this hollandaise sauce we're doing, it's slowly starting to thicken up. You see how this is going? So we're going to keep this going. It's going to take about 15 minutes of fast forward time. I don't have a fast forward in life, do you? So we're going to live with these results, but we started with an egg yolk. We started with 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, some pinches of high-quality salt, some cayenne, and then we started whisking in pats of butter, cold pats of butter, which is a technique that I guess the French do. So that's where it comes from. So this is what I'm pretending to do. And this will be a thicker sauce in a while as we reduce it down. We'll just constantly keep whipping in a stainless steel bowl. Stainless steel bowls I thought were kind of funny to find. I needed to find one. This is part of a double boiler system. But I went out today to get the asparagus, my good old asparagus. Isn't this nice? Now, one thing about asparagus, it's high in fiber, really high in fiber. Great thing about asparagus is, what do y'all know about if you eat asparagus, what do you know? What do you find out about your body if you eat asparagus? You find out if your kidneys are working, don't you? Right? Because guess what? Very soon after you eat, you go to the bathroom and it starts to smell like swamp water. You're like, what the heck happened? Yeah, your kidneys are working. So that's a good indicator. Your body knows. See how this is getting thicker? Yep, this is getting thicker. Now, if this is going to go onto a eggs Benedict or an omelet, you wouldn't necessarily want it as thick as you may want it. When I get done with this, then I'm going to let it cool. But we're going to use it for what? For the asparagus. Now, one thing I was going to tell you about asparagus, you can break them off. Wherever you break it off, that tender part, save the bottom, and use that for a soup stock. Don't just throw it away. Or if you get later on when the season goes and they start having really thick stocks, the really thick ones, you know what I mean? I like them because I know they cook fast. I like them to be the same size in terms of thickness because I know my cooking speed will be the same. But when you get them and they're really, really thick, just take a potato peeler or whatever, your carrot peeler or whatever peel you have, and you can get rid of some of that outside and get into the tender meats things. Just an idea. Wow, look how see how this is changing color even? Yeah, see how this is changing color? You see that? I don't want to spill it. But you can see that it's starting to coat the sides now even. This is great. So yeah, so we have a lemon beurre blanc to go along with our Chilean sea bass, which was wild caught. It was wild caught from Australia. That's the source. And then this, which will be a Hollandaise sauce, is going to go on the roasted, well, they'll be grilled, but roasted asparagus. What a beautiful dinner we're going to have. Now, one of the things about eating and about how things go is that one of the problems is, guys, is that the metabolic crisis that we have in America is because people eat too often. And you've been trained to count calories. You've been trained and educated, quote, educated, bribed, lied to, fraudulated to, that fat makes you fat. Fat does not make you fat. Sugar does. Sugar with insulin, eating too often. Why? Because when you eat, every time you swallow something, even your medication, even your pills, hey, John, even if you take pills, they break your fast. You've learned that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, haven't you? Guess who brought you that advertising? Kellogg's. To sell what? Sell you more cereal. And now, what's the song? The Rainbow Connection. Somebody thought of it, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far, right? Isn't that how that goes? Sure. That Rainbow Connection, there's the same thing that they do with advertising to get you to what? Believe in something that will make you want to crave it, that you can't eat just. Pop, fizz, oh what? Bet you can't eat just, right? Look how this is thickening up. Now this would be good at this thickness. This would be good on an omelet as a Hollandaise sauce and omelet. But I'm going to keep going to make it thicker. But guys, this is what happens. When you are eating this often, you cannot burn fat. It is a crazy fallacy that they get you to have a pre-exercise drink, and then you get on the treadmill or whatever for an hour or two or whatever, and you think you're burning fat. It's a lie. Because you cannot burn fat until the glucose is out of the system. And carbohydrates, starches, turn into what? Blood sugar glucose. And until it's out of the system, you're not burning fat. You're not. So you want to burn fat? Do this. Extend your sleep fast. You were sleeping. Were you eating? Yes or no? Of course not. Thanks, John, for coming on board. Of course you weren't. You were asleep. You weren't eating. And then when you get up, a lot of you all of a sudden you think you need to eat because you're starving. You're not starving. You didn't die. You live in a first world country. You're not 5 minutes away from the next store. There's food in your pantry. There's food in your fridge. There's food in your refrigerator for most American households. Right? That's the way it is. And you can say, well, I have to eat. I get up and I eat, and then I go to work. I have to eat at 6. No, you don't. If it's the weekend and you slept in until 8, did you get up at 6 to eat and then went back to bed? George, you're an idiot. Of course not. Well, I'm just asking for a friend. Think about that. Just asking. I just try to prevent some of the logical issues, guys. You know, some people understand, well, I've got this, so I need to take this pill. I got this, I need to take this pill. I got this. The pills you are taking, have they eliminated the cause? If you stop taking those pills, will that go away? Will that symptom go away? No. Why? Just ask. I'm asking. If you got off the pill that you're taking, or pills that you're taking, well, whatever you're taking those pills for, will the source of that illness, that chronic metabolic condition, go away? No? Oh. So they're really not fixing, they're just masking, right? Yeah. That's kind of like if your house was on fire, if you got if the fireplace over here started to smolder and burn, the smoke detectors would go off, right? Beep, 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 beep. Annoying as heck yesterday and tomorrow, right? It's a warning sign, right? It is a warning sign. Well, in today's modern medicine, rather they used to see the warning sign, whether it's blood pressure, maybe it's triglycerides. Of course, they don't have a pill for triglycerides, so they won't treat that. But blood pressure, blood sugar, fatty liver, PCOS, cardiovascular disease, everybody's on cholesterol, right? Cholesterol is not the enemy. You need cholesterol. Do you know that every cell in your body has cholesterol? Do you know that your body makes 80% of it? Why do you let the drug companies lower your cholesterol? I'm asking, why? Cholesterol does not cause heart disease. Cholesterol does not. It's there. It's in your body. It's supposed to be there. Your body makes 80% of it. Cholesterol does not cause heart attacks any more than firemen cause fires. Firemen show up to the fire, right? Cholesterol's in your body. Every cell needs it. Think about that. But they got a pill to lower it. Think about this. They just showed who they are again. What did they just lower? They just lowered what? The blood pressure. What is a good blood pressure? Used to be what? 120 over 80. That was a standard, gold standard for decades. Decades and decades and decades. 120 over 80. 120 over 80. Guess what? They just lowered it to like what? 100 over 75 or something? Why? Why did they lower that? What clinical studies and proof showed that that should be the standard? None. If they were, they were sponsored by the drug company to sell you more what? Prescriptions, to increase your dosage. See, it's not that. Fat doesn't make you fat. But then you now lower those numbers and start telling people that, well, we need to get your blood pressure lower. We need to get your cholesterol lower. Do you know the healthiest places in the world have high cholesterol? Did you know that? The highest places in the world eat fat, lots of it, and they live longer. They've got you sold, buffaloed, hog-winged, that calories are bad. Have you seen the caloric studies? They had two groups of people. Imagine this, two groups of people, and they were given the same amount of calories. Okay, calories important? Okay, fine. I'll give you that for a half a second. But follow this. They give people the same amount of calories. Okay? The one group got their calories all from dense carbohydrates, processed food, ultra-processed food. The other got their calories from fat. Which group had better blood results? Which group actually lost weight? Now they're on the same amount of calories. The source proves that fat was better for you. End of story. I rest my case. Calories to calories. Calories don't matter. The source of it does. If that smoke detector in the house is going on and the fire is over there and that was annoying me and I turned off the smoke detector, have I put out the fire? No, I just eliminated one of the symptoms, didn't I? Well, George, the house is filling up with smoke. Okay, well, let's turn on some vents and put some fans in the window. Have I fixed the source of the issue? No, I'm just masking the symptom. Guys, same thing with your blood work. Same thing with your blood work. The one thing, if the one test that you need to know, a number you need to know, is your insulin resistance number, your IR, your insulin resistance number. If you don't know what it is, write this formula down. Insulin resistance number, your IR. How do you calculate it? You take your triglycerides, that's from your lipid panel, your triglycerides. And the reason you don't have a pill for triglycerides is because they don't have one yet. If they had one, they'd be treating you that too. But you're going to divide that by your HDL. By your HDL. You're going to divide your triglycerides by your HDL, and you want that number definitely below 2. 1.5, 1.5, 1 lower is better. If you're over 2, if you're over 3, we need to have a chat. You're on your way to diabetes. Look how this is coming along. This is nice. See how this is thickening up? See how the lines are created in the bottom of the pan now? Yeah, this is coming along good. Thickening up, thickening up, thickening up. So this is going to be a nice little sauce. See how it's coated my whisk now? See how it's coating that whisk? Oh, yeah. Oh, daddy. I'm excited. This is so good. But again, remember, this hollandaise sauce was so simple. All we did is an egg yolk, 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I put a little cayenne, a little bit and some high-quality salt, and about 4 tablespoons of butter, and just keep whisking this around. It's going to be about 15 minutes worth on a very low heat. I'm going to set it right here just for a second. Oh. Yum. That's a beautiful sauce. I'm just going to let it cool. It'll thicken. Cool. So when you eat this often, you create constant levels of spikes. When you eat this often, you require that your pancreas puts out an equal amount of what you just swallowed of insulin to push the glucose into the cells. But sometimes the cells are full, aren't they? Right? They get full. They can't take anymore. So it's got to go someplace else. So it goes to your liver. Well, the liver gets full. And where else does it go? It goes to the brain. Well, then where does it go? It goes everywhere. You start peeing every 2 hours. Your hair starts falling out. Your eyes get fuzzy. You get retinopathy, neuropathy. You start developing skin acne, psoriasis, PCOS, ED. You start gaining around the midsection, the visceral fat. You get non-alcoholic fatty liver. You get type 2 diabetes. You get blood sugar issues. You get high cholesterol issues. You get so many things that just keep going that are all because you couldn't stop eating, and you were eating every 2 hours. That's the problem. You want to burn fat? Here's a great idea. Eat in the eating zone. If you've got a snack, eat between your 2 meals. Let's go to 2 meals a day. Okay, so first off, let's fast. Can we first understand and accept the fact that you fasted at night? Can we accept that fact that you did that? Did you? Okay. So you ate and you're fasting. When you were fasting, you were asleep. So let's do that a little bit longer during the morning. Let's do that a little bit longer in the day and keep the fat burning. Because the longer it takes you to start eating, the more fat you get to burn, which is what you all want to do, isn't it? Most of you. I don't need to. I'm gaining. Okay, this works the same way. So eat in the eating zone. If you're taking like a thyroid medication, if you're on the circadian rhythm for your pills, when are you going to take it? You're going to take it when? You're going to take it about 10 in the morning, found the circadian rhythm, And then what happens is you're going to eat about 30 minutes later. So your goalpost for eating would move over to at 10:30. And the other side of it, maybe you'll move to 4 or 5 or 6, right? If you're going to snack in between the goalposts. Snack, you get to eat during the score during the eating zone. That's what I call it, the eating zone. Score your calories, score your food in the eating zone. Points, good. You miss, it's out. No snacking. No snacky, no snacky before, no nibble. No. If you're going to do that, if you're going to have a coffee, malted coffee of some kind, do it in the eating zone. Do it in the eating zone. Score your food and calorie in the eating zone. The rest, shut it down, shut your mouth, let your body get rid of those calories that you just overdid, right? And make them go into fat burning. Get them to fat burning. See those 2 posts there? That's when we ate. That's the spike. That's what it's like. See that? But you guys are constantly up there because you're constantly snacking, because you're constantly eating. And I know I used to be that way. Guys, this is 68 different symptoms of blood sugar insulin resistance. 68 of them. I had 58 of them on my way to a blood glucose of 834. I am a type 2 diabetes survivor, literally, without any meds, without any medication, without any medical intervention. I went from a critically medical emergency care is necessary level, 834, with an A1C of 18.1 to 90 in 107 days on this natural protocol. Not counting calories, not counting carbs, not going only this diet or only that diet or only this or only that. No. 2 products, 1 process, 3 drinks a day. So, what have we talked about that you can do? 1, stop snacking. Turn on fat burning. Eat only during the eating zone, whatever that is. You can move it around, but don't cheat. Don't cheat on yourself. Don't cheat on your children. Don't cheat on your loved ones. Don't allow that. Establish a pattern that's going to work for you, for your life. Fasting is one thing, but girls, you got to fast entirely different than guys, because you got all these hormones, all these cycles. You also have your menstruals, you have your peri, you have your menopausal, you have your postmenopausal. Those are all different. One size does not fit all. Now, guys, maybe more so, because guys are like a barbershop quartet. Pretty boring, kind of cool, but not real complicated. Ladies, you are like a symphony orchestra. You got so many moving parts, and your moving parts change as you go through life. That's why you're different. But this is an idea. When you eat carbs first, you raise the demand on your pancreas to send out the fire trucks to push down that glucose level to where it's supposed to be, right? That's what happens. When you eat and swallow and your body starts to digest, turns that starch into glucose, blood sugar, that requires it get out of there, because you only have a sugar cube total amount in your body. Just 1 sugar cube. That's all it is. How many sugar cubes are there in that soda, in that malt, in those tortilla shells, in the dressing, that high fructose corn syrup in your ketchup, in your barbecue sauce, in your dipping sauce? What about the oils, the seed oils? How much high fructose corn syrup's in that cereal, that cookie, that Nature Valley Death Bar? How much? All of those spike. all those create chaos, which is why we want to do eating in an order of food that makes physiological sense for your gut and will fix your gut biome, your gut dysbiosis. For those of you that are IBS, gas, bloating, constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, this order of food helps fix that. If you're obese and you're trying to take shots, if you think you're taking shots and pills for weight loss, those antagonists, you already produce that hormone naturally. This protocol will increase it by 60%. This protocol will lower your blood glucose response. It will enhance that. It will fix and help with your lipid proteins. Just this right here. That's why there's 5 patents on it. But you want to eat, I'm giving you free, stop snacking, eat in the eating zone, score your meals in the eating zone, right? Eat in the order of food. F off. Just remember F off. George said F off. What? Fasting, order of food, fiber, fat, protein. Now, I'm Filipino, and we don't say Filipino, we say Filipino. So I think I should start saying protein as an F, because that's very important. Carbs last. Why do you do fiber first? Well, fiber, there's 2 kinds of fiber. Did you know there's 2 kinds of fiber? There's soluble and there's insoluble. Let me kind of show you what that looks like. So this is a supplement. This is a fiber that I take, or that thousands of us take. It has 4 patents on it. And this particular fiber has been around for 30 years, sold around the world. It's available. Your doctor can look it up. You can look it up, pdr.net. Go to the pdr.net and you can look up this fiber. If you want to know its actual name, message me and I'll get you the information. But you can find this, and it's been researched. And what do we talk about? What's the leading cause of death in America, in the world? If you know what the leading cause of death in the world is in America, put that in the chat, would you? Yeah, cardiovascular disease. Aren't we the most medicated country in the world? How many millions, if not hundreds of millions, of people are taking cardiovascular disease or cardiovascular pills? You know, the ones that end in OR, that are under the blanket name of Satan. I mean, well, you know what I mean. This fiber that's right here is soluble, 2 kinds of fiber, soluble and insoluble fiber. The soluble fiber turns into a gel. You're going to see me pour this in. Look how thick that is. Okay? That's going to coat my stomach. It's going to coat the food I eat. It's going to coat my intestines. And it's going to slow down the absorption. It's going to slow down the absorption of food that I eat, thus decreasing the spike of my insulin, even if I had pizza. If I'm going to have pizza, which I had this week, did I have pizza? We had Sunday. But when I had pizza, before I had pizza, I drank my fiber, my balance. That's so good. Anyway, so the soluble coats, okay? But there's also insoluble fiber in this patented. And the insoluble fiber is kind of like a broom. That's one of its functions. It keeps things moving along. I call it gluten pooping. But it also fixes your gut biome. You know, you have trillions, maybe 30, maybe 100 trillion bacteria in your gut. You got good ones and you got bad ones. If you're high carbohydrate, little to no fiber, that's why you have problems. Because you're feeding the bad bacteria what it wants. You want to feed the army that's going to fix you. You want to feed those guys. Then you need insoluble fiber, 20 to 30 grams per day. Yeah, you aren't getting 10. This is what this fiber does. It fixes our good bacteria, which then, if you have mood swings, anxiety, depression, this fiber will help fix that over time, because 90% of your serotonin is right here in your gut. But you know why you don't have it? It's because you aren't feeding it the right stuff. So the insoluble fiber is not for you, it's for your good bacteria. You want to feel better? That's going to help. That's what's going to help. It's going to help so many different things. So eating the order, you're going to fast. The order of food is fiber, fat, protein. Again, this is free information that you can do to help fix yourself starting today. Consciously eat fiber first, then fat, then protein. Okay? Stop spiking your insulin. Stop spiking your meals right there. Stop spiking it. Now you can do, and we'll talk about it another day, you can start talking about resistant starches. We just did a thing on that. Our meatballs that we did the other day, we used resistant starch. But we want to start doing what? Eating during the scoring zone. Score during the eating zone. I don't want you to be Mr. Belly so big. I don't want you to die. Here's a great meal that I did the other day. Again, using the order of food, fiber. My salad was spinach, walnuts, avocado. Let's see what else. Spinach, avocado, mushrooms, portobello. All what? Fiber and fats, and cottage cheese as a dressing. Fiber, fats. My chicken was what? Dry roasted. It was grilled with dry ingredients, seasonings. Then a tomato in the garden from right over here, which is wrapped in what? Fiber first, then the carbohydrate on the inside. Here's another meal. A couple more meals. See how we specifically lay it out. And it's so pretty. So yeah, that's what it is, guys. That's how simple it is. So today we did a Hollandaise sauce. We did a Hollandaise sauce today to go with our asparagus. Okay. You've learned how to do that. There was an egg yolk, lemon juice, water, 2 tablespoons of each, 4 tablespoons of butter, a little bit of salt, a little bit of cayenne pepper. Just keep whisking it low till it gets to the consistency that you want. That will go on top of the asparagus that we'll have tonight. I'll grill that. And then we did the lemon beurre blanc earlier this week, and that's going to be used for what? That's going to be used for the Chilean sea bass. If you have any questions or comments, I would love having the opportunity to do this. I'm going to continue doing live cooking on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, noon Central. I look forward to any comments. I want criticism. I'm all good with that, because you're not going to hurt my feelings. I want to be able to provide value to you. So if there's any comments or questions, private message me at Heal Your Body, Help Heal Your Body. That's on all platforms at Help Heal Your Body. I'm George Villa. I appreciate you coming in today. I appreciate your time. Have a blessed weekend. Go Hawks.